All right, episode 47. Today we're going to talk about pay-to-play. How do these real estate ranking websites work? And we're joined by Jordan Espeseth of Real Producers Magazine, who's going to share with us how agents can leverage his magazine to gain more clients. And what is this send-out cards all about? Join us right now.
Welcome to the only real estate podcast worth listening to, with your hosts Nick Good, Matt Kelderman, and Brian Force. Combined, they have 26 years of experience and have sold over 1,500 homes. Join them each week as they bring you everything you need to know about real estate. And now, here are your hosts, Nick, Matt, and Brian.
All right. New studio here, coming in late.
I know,
What
man.
is it? We're 22 minutes late.
Shout out to Aaron Foster for calling us out, by the way.
But look, this is not our fault. We're going to blame Derek on this one.
I'm so damn confused where to look.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
this
you-
is going to
you gotta
be a
look in that
rough
one.
episode
Yeah.
because, Derek, go ahead and put us on the TV so we can just figure out our
the
bearings.
thing. We need I can't, I got to know what I look like because I need to know what how big of a dumbass I look like.
You gotta
You're
look
over
there.
Staring
here.
at this camera, that's not right.
Yeah, it's
there
that
it
one.
is.
This one's not hooked up. So you're looking at that one.
Is this,
Okay.
is this actually, are we?
Oh, yeah, we're on, man. People
Okay,
are
sweet.
watching
What's
us
up,
do
y'all?
this.
Yeah.
You guys have
Yeah.
it easier because your camera's right at the TV. I'm organically drawn to the TV, so I'm
Right,
just
supposed to look at himself.
looking like
At
this
TV.
the whole
I'm
time.
going to tell you right now, it's weird with no headphones.
It is weird with no headphones.
Everything
I've
about
never
this
seen
is
my
gonna be off.
ears before on TV.
Yeah.
Feels very normal to me.
They look
This is
all right.
my first time, so.
Yeah. First time, is it?
Well,
We'll take it easy.
with you guys, yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
take it
please
easy.
do.
Yeah.
First time.
Yeah. We'll take it nice and slow. So, all right, episode 47 coming from this new studio. So you'll see a new background here, new table setup, all the other good stuff. And we're joined by Jordan Espeseth.
Espeseth.
Come on now.
He's
Espeseth.
forcing it so
Espeseth.
hard.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean,
it
that's not
doesn't-
even real last
what's-
name. Like,
what
so.
is-
It's
what is-
not
It's
a
Norwegian.
It's not a real last name.
It was the one I was given, man.
Yeah,
It's just,
we're going to change that. Let's.
He's
Drop in the
saying
comments below.
He's
Let's
saying
change-
it like
let's
it's
change
some
the
sort of
last
like
name.
weird voodoo command that if you say it 3 times fast, like
Espeseth.
I'd like to change my email, though, because it's jordan.espeseth@realproducersmag.com.
that's
Yeah.
too long.
Way to,
Too
yeah,
long.
yeah, way to
Like,
drop that.
I'd like to have, like, tom@kw.com.
Yeah.
The dot is fine. Underscore bothers me.
Yeah.
Anything that I have to hit shift.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think Heather
the
has an
middle of
underscore
time.
on
Oh,
her. I think
man,
she's
does
got an
that bother
underscore
me.
on her personal
I just
one.
won't ever email you. I don't care if it's life or
Well,
death.
Yeah.
I'll just.
But before we get rolling on this, at least I can say if you're looking to take more than 10 listings every single month right now, more than 10. Are you going to take more than 10?
Oh, we're kind of close, but we will.
We're kind
More
of close.
than
We're
10
going to get
listings
there.
every
Kinda
single
close,
month.
but we will.
Dude, you need to go over to touracademy.com/take10, where you're going to watch the webinar that we've done that shares all the gold nuggets of how we're taking over 10 plus listings every single month. And then you're going to want to sign up for Tour Academy. We just had an amazing Tour Academy Zoom call on Monday.
Yeah.
And it's going to prompt you to sign up for $1. Go do it right now. And then join our Facebook group, the only real estate group worth being a part of. I almost messed that up again.
New studio.
New
You're allowed to
studio.
reset.
I'm nervous.
Reset.
We've got Jordan here.
I feel like this is like a much more of a Good Morning America vibe now with these
Yeah.
freaking plants and chocolates and
Yeah.
I was
everything.
thinking the
like,
view. We're all
This
just
is
gonna
way
bitch
too
at each
fancy
other.
for our ridiculous show.
Yeah.
Hey, why do you guys have it so expensive? Like $1?
Oh, the $1 for Tour Academy?
Yeah.
That's kind of.
It's a
see.
lot. Yeah, I mean,
That's
people,
what we value our knowledge.
At least for 30 days.
Exactly.
And then just remove your credit card.
yeah.
Right.
You know who you
Yeah.
are.
So we're joined by Jordan with Real Producers Magazine. So he featured us on this magazine here. And
How do I do this?
yeah,
Oh,
right
boom,
there.
there you are.
Right there.
It's
There you are.
perfect.
There it is.
So if
What
you're listening to this on iTunes or a podcast and not watching the video, go to our YouTube channel, go to our Facebook page. You can see what we're talking about here. But I want to really kind of chat here about a lot of people
love it.
there's somebody actually that made a comment when we posted this about how much did we pay to get in this, right? And there's a lot of these
$1.
pay $1, but we get our money back after 30 days.
Yeah. It's just a retainer just for the
Yeah.
month of January.
But there's a lot of these companies out there that you see these people claiming all these awards, and then you go and look behind the curtain, and you find out that you can win any award if you pay them $500 to $1,000.
Dig in your pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your magazine.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people, They love the fact that we're not a pay-to-play model. So the way that Real Producers really works is first of all, we're a national franchise.
Yeah.
We started in 2015 in Indianapolis. We're now in over 100 markets nationwide, and I'm the owner of the best one, clearly, North DFW Real Producers.
sure.
And essentially, what we do in each market, we take the top 500 producing real estate agents based off the MLS production for the year. And so, like, I'm actually going through right now, getting all the top 500 for 2019. We're getting that all cleaned up.
How's that going?
Wow. EXP makes it a little difficult, but no, we're getting it. We're getting it. And so, if an agent's in that top 500, which again we know that the MLS isn't 100% accurate, right? There's non-MLS, transactions. It can go under one person's name, not
Dude,
you know what I mean.
Austin Good is murdering it on the MLS, isn't he? Isn't that you guys put your listings on there?
No,
Or did you
Nick
change
Good
that?
is.
No,
Oh,
it's
is
under
it?
He's
Nick.
Austin's never.
Oh, I thought it was-
Austin is not a licensed real estate broker anymore.
Anymore. Oh, okay.
He
I
let
thought you
that-
guys used to put him under him.
No, it was all under me.
I never know why you did that. Well, Nick's
Yeah,
killing
Nick,
it.
Nick,
and
looks,
no one
Nick
else.
looks good on that.
Yeah,
MLS.
Nick does all right.
Yeah. So we take those numbers, and if an agent is in that top 500, they receive the publication every single month. It's like their badge of honor, if you will, for being in that top 1-2% of real estate agent here within the market. And the cool thing about Real Producers, again, we talk about not being a pay-to-play. If you're in that top 500, you may be nominated and selected to be featured within the publication, and it's a testament to you guys, the work that you've done, and agents typically appreciate that fact that we're not a pay-to-play model, and
Yeah.
we don't allow someone who's not in the top 500 that maybe has some deep pockets to say, hey, I'll give you X dollars once you put me on the cover of that.
Right.
It won't happen. Not with Real Producers.
And what do you see as what's been the benefit since you've started this publication here? How are agents leveraging that so that they if they're in the top 500 in their area or even here locally, that they can try to get in? How are agents leveraging it to get more business?
Yeah.
And more notoriety?
Well, I think one thing, people want the notoriety, right? They want to be a part of something that is exclusive. They want to be a part of something where they get to be connected with the best. And so, in terms of, we do have a logo that we give to those people in the top 500. So they have logos they can use to put on their materials, which people always like to have that stuff.
Did we get a logo?
Dude, I didn't push it that hard this year. This new year, we're
Like,
pushing
we
it a
didn't
little bit
win a
harder.
logo.
We got some cool
won a
things
whole
coming too. Like
publication.
we got some top 500 North DFW Real Producers like sign riders that we'll be giving out.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's gonna be pretty
Sexy.
sweet. So March 5th at our event, you better be there. We'll have some of those there. But obviously those that are featured, it's a huge testament to them and their business. And as you guys know, you can get reprints of your story for people who are featured to share it out to their sphere. It's just a great tool to show people, that you're doing what you're doing, and you're not paying for it. Like, why should you pay for doing a super awesome job?
I'll tell you, we took it and ran with it, man. The biggest thing for us, obviously the hard copy publication is huge. I'll tell you, the first thing I did is have my assistant go frame it. It hangs in our office now. But we ran on social media hard with it. The second we found out, we did it through the photo shoot, when it actually came out. Like, it was incredible content creation for us.
Well, here's
that
the
I think
thing.
gave
We
us a lot
also
of that.
hyped it up before, right?
Yeah,
so
sure.
we made a coming soon or big announcement post.
funny
And
as hell.
and this was 3 months. What did we shoot that in October?
I think so.
Yeah, we were
Something
talking
like that.
about it,
It was,
Yeah. So 90 days we let this thing run, and of course, what did everyone think the big announcement was? That
Nick was coming
We're
back.
having a baby.
that I was getting my old office back.
Yeah, exactly. Nick told us today, Brian and I are in his old office, and he feels so nostalgic and sad when we receive it. We did steal his idea. We're like making like a whole culture wall, right, where all their pretty pictures.
We
used to hang.
took
We're gonna
Nick's
hang all our
office
shit
and are
up there.
doing all the things with it that he wished he did when he had it.
Yeah.
Well, I want it back.
It's got a bunch of pictures of us hanging on the walls now. So
But if I just move back in, and it's all good, right?
Nick just shows up and start.
Yeah. So the run that we've all used it for has been great.
Sure.
And by the way, how much did you pay to get it framed?
Ooh, that's a
It's
Macy
a lady
question.
and Macy question.
Yeah. I still need to get mine framed. By the way.
Leverage
$12.
is amazing.
As I told you, stay tuned on
Picture
that.
frames aren't that
Is
much.
it coming?
Hey.
Well, I need to know.
Well, you just
Nick just
you
likes to
need-
ruin
you need that
surprises
patience,
for
man.
himself.
I don't have again.
I know it's not your strongest attribute, but
I need it framed and sitting behind me.
I know.
So that when
Next
people
show.
sit in my office, they can just look up.
There's a graveyard
Right?
of CRMs in Nick's wake that proves he has zero patience.
Yeah. By the way, I was on actually CRM Talk, right? Had a great call today with Sierra Interactive.
Okay. And we were
And
talking
I'm-
about that on the mastermind
Yep,
on Monday.
Yep. And their company, $4.99 a month. They do voicemail drops, text messages. They got a built-in dialer, and I'm putting all these other damn CRMs that are a nice little house payment. They need to catch up.
$4.99 a month total.
Yeah, $5 a month. That's not
Yeah, I
bad.
know.
$499.
$7.
Yeah.
It costs to get framed.
$499.
That was the answer to your question.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
Lady Sophia.
Yep. Heart that.
$4.99 unlimited.
Yep. Up to 10 users.
Oh, so it's
$600. It's
not a
$600 if you want up to 50 users.
okay.
But we have 51 agents, so that won't work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
No, but what's the
product.
pricing model
Yeah,
for
it's
that?
terrible.
So what? I mean, I get what you're saying. What you're really harping on is
The features.
you're harping on the voicemail drop as the features.
And
It's one feature.
absolutely. I
Is
also
the usability enough to make up for that one?
here's what
feature?
I'll say. Again, this is a little off topic with Jordan being here because I want to get into.
Sorry, the camera's just on you two. They
Yeah.
don't even know we're here right now.
I want
we're
to talk
just
about
hiding in the
this
corner.
all day.
So here's what I'd say to that. Like, yes, the voicemail drops are great, right? I would say that the usability. So they built out pond accounts, which
So it's legit, like integrated. You don't have to log out, and log
correct,
back in. That's cool.
absolutely. So they built out pond accounts that if I wanted you to only work expired listings or
Sure.
expired leads going in there, you only have access at a pond account, nothing else. Right? I can limit pond account accesses to certain strengths.
That's cool.
Right? I can also put in there if you have not followed up with someone in a certain time period, it automatically kicks it back out into the pond account.
Okay.
Right.
So basically, everything that
A VA
we figured out how to do with Boomtown that you just didn't figure out how to do.
that you have to do workarounds.
Sure.
The problem is they're all workarounds. I don't want to have to like I can
Just draw
band-aid
them off
myself
sides. He
up
doesn't even
and stop
get it.
myself from bleeding, or I can just go get a surgeon and fucking stitch me up and then I'm healed.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
Like
fair.
I don't want fucking band-aids. I don't want to have to piecemeal everything together.
That's fair.
I agree. And look, I'll be very
agree.
honest with you. If I wasn't business partners with Brian, I'd want the all-inclusive package too. I just happen to have somebody who's like willing to
Yeah.
go figure out how to fix those types of things. Because I wouldn't.
I think there's something to be said for building
just don't
something
wanna
that can't be replicated in the same way. If you give everybody the system that works and does everything you want it to do, everybody's got the same value proposition. Can I get an amen, Derek? Amen. Thank you.
From the cheap seats.
Yeah.
So Jordan, now that we've gotten off on
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
Me and Matt just hanging
what were
out
we
over
talking
here.
about a second ago?
We were talking about being in this awesome magazine.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, being a part of a group, you guys know the importance of surrounding yourself with good people.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so with Real Producers, we're just doing that in a different way and bringing together the best producing real estate agents to connect them. I hear so many times at our events, people talk. They say, "Man, I've done so many deals with X agent, and I've never met them before."
I think that's huge, man. Because we talk about, especially because we're pretty open with being brokerage neutral and things like that. We talk a lot about a different type of stuff. I think we can all agree, like, it doesn't matter what broker you're with or this or that. Like, you will learn so much more about the business from the people that you surround yourself with. And that's what you guys give an opportunity for people to do, is connect on a level with top producing agents. And I would say just from events and just being in the network and like, I have learned more from this guy and this guy, right, about how to run a real estate business than I ever learned from any brokerage that I've been at or anything like that. So I think that's another huge thing is it's just the people that you surround yourself with, the company that you keep is so much more indicative of what you'll do in this business than anything else.
Oh, it's huge, and that's what we love. That's what we loved about having you guys on the cover, because we got 2KW and we got an EXP on the same cover, and clearly what you guys do. Not working at the same brokerage, but elevating each other's game. Like,
Sure.
that's exactly what Real Producers is all about. Like, it doesn't matter if you're Ebby, KW, EXP, Coldwell Banker. Like, hey, you're good, I'm good. Let's see how we can elevate each other's game.
And I think the agents who get twisted off about that just don't understand that, like, there's
Sure.
enough room. like after you get past that flux of agents kind of in that 40 to 50 percentile, right? Like there's a lot of people just wash out the first year.
Yep.
And there's agents who kind of hang around and muddy up the waters. They take listings but don't really sell them, right? They represent buyers. They're in there taking business, but they're not really converting business enough for you to know who they are. I've been at this 7 years now locally. I recognize the majority of the names of the people who've been in it as long as I have. Because there's just not a ton of them, right?
Yeah.
You see the same people at your events, at MLS tours, at the big open houses. You see the same people at all of those, man.
And I mean, you and I, we do live training events for everyone of all brokerage. I mean, Nick Good as well. Nick did his whole Good to Great mastermind last year that I went to, that people from all over came to. I mean, we the reason that we do the live events is because, quite frankly, I mean, you put it the perfect way, you're going to see the same people over and over. I don't think there's anything as frustrating in the real estate business as working with agents on the other side that you sort of have to carry along. And it can, because when we're talking about the end of the day, we're trying to represent buyers and sellers to the best of our abilities. It's really great to have people that we can be partners with in success, meaning getting to the closing table. We do free training classes every other Thursday for 50 plus people of all different brokerages, and we don't want anything for it other than people to improve and get better so that our lives get easier and we can all have a better business, right? Like outside of brokerage stuff.
So Jordan, what were you doing before you went down the Real Producers?
Send out cards.
Send out cards. Before we get into that, but so I do want to talk about send out cards, but let's do that here in a little bit. But what made you go the Real Producers way?
Yeah.
Is there any other type of product that was out there at the time?
No, and there really isn't anything like Real Producers. I mean, yeah, there's real estate magazines. I think they all have their time and place, for sure. But there's nothing. We are finding now that there are a few different copycats that are trying to replicate. But we have such market share now that there's only probably 200 markets nationwide where Real Producers is really viable, a big enough market for it. And we're in over 100 of it now. So there's no stopping Real Producers.
Wow.
But yeah, so I have a healthcare background. I actually I love this. So I went to college for 7 years. I worked for 7 months with that degree, and then I went entrepreneurial.
Nice.
Sorry, Dad.
Sounds good.
Yeah, he wasn't happy. You're supposed to be a nurse. I went down that
Damn
path.
it, Falker.
Damn it, Dale. Anyways, I did not have that something about that 9 to 5 thing, man. It scares the shit out of me, honestly. I can't do it. And so I always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I dabbled in a few different things here and there, and in 2017, I had a buddy who, you guys familiar with Cutco, like Cutco closing gifts?
Yeah.
So actually, of the 100 people that are in Real Producers, I bet you 30 of them have Cutco businesses. And it was started by the guy who started Remington Ramsey in Indianapolis was a Cutco guy. And the guy who started the whole publishing company that Real Producers is under was a Cutco guy. Anyways, one of my good buddies and we connected, and he was a Cutco fella, and he, to cut a long story short, we were trying to figure out what our next move was, and we came across somebody who was doing this send out cards thing, and he married what he was doing with Cutco and getting in front of real estate agents, and took that send out cards, which is a network marketing company, and said, hey, let's bring these two together, because with Cutco, I mean, you're stuck to your territory.
Sure.
With send-out cards, we're going to do this over the entire country, and so that's what we did. And we can talk about send-out cards, but I was essentially, we were going. Keller Williams Bold was our go-to, so we probably did. I mean, a ton of different. In 2017, we did so many different team meetings, but we found that Keller Williams Bold was our best to sponsor.
Sure.
We got really savvy at getting low prices for our sponsorships and getting that breakfast sponsorship, which is the best, because you get to speak first, then people come to you after break, then you have a second lunch break, and people come to you after that. People think lunch sponsor is the best one, but you're missing a whole wave of people.
Morning session.
Yeah, and so we were able to get. I mean, we were crushing it in terms of what our average sponsorship was, because you could go broke sponsoring Keller Williams Bolts, and we were essentially using send-out cards. We were teaching agents how to use send-out cards, which, to pause for a second, it's essentially an app on your phone or computer where you can send customized greeting cards from your phone or computer. And I could take a picture of us right now. I could go to my phone, put that on the cover of the card. I could text something up, and it would be actually my handwriting. I could have my branding on the back of the card, and I could say attach brownies, and I could hit send, and it would our company would print it, stuff it, stamp it, and mail it for you. And so we were teaching agents how to use that system to prospect for sale by owners, expireds, how to automate the system for campaigns, and just stay on top and stay in touch with their clients.
Let's dig deep on that.
Yeah.
I love.
And then to pause, then I ran into a lady in Topeka, Kansas, who was doing Real Producers at the end of 2017. She's like, I think you'd be good at this. And I was like, I'm always open for something different. Loved the concept of Real Producers. And so literally moved from northern Minnesota to Frisco, Texas on my 28th birthday, which is coming up February 6th, is my 30th. So almost 2 years. Came down to Texas, didn't know a single person, and we started up, and it's been an awesome thing. So grateful for Sendo Cards to lead me to where I'm currently at.
That's awesome.
Shout out
that
to
you
Sendo
came
Cards.
down. Wait, so you moved down here for Real Producers? Jeez, talk about. I mean, we get into we talk about just real estate business in general, right? Like talk about like just leaping before you look. Like that's an incredible entrepreneurial move.
Dude,
right?
it was the greatest thing I did too, because if I would have done it in my backyard, it would have been so easy to be like, this is tough. And
for sure.
I think I'm gonna go back to whatever else I was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I literally, you burn all your bridges, you move across the country. Like when shit gets hard, you maybe curl up in bed for a little bit, but at the end of the day, like you're not going to drive 1,300 miles back to your hometown and cry to mommy. So it's just like, even though I cried to mommy, I was just over the phone. And so I'm super grateful that I moved across the country, because honestly, there was a lot of times where I was considering and thought that this ain't going to happen.
What do you think? I mean, go ahead, Kelderman.
No, I think that's huge for the entrepreneurial spirit, man, because we see agents all the time and they want to know, like, kind of what is the secret. And I think anybody who's getting the business sales has to understand at some point you just got to jump off the freaking branch, dude, and you might not land on something soft. I don't think there's anybody in this room who had a backup. Like, I still currently, my backup plan is, guys, I had to go back to slinging drinks, right? Like, that's it. There's no college degree. There's barely a high school diploma, right? Like, I'm 40. It's not like I could go out and replicate my income with some 9-to-5 type of job. It's entrepreneurial.
Do you truly have a backup plan? Like,
I don't now.
Because at the end of the day, like, when I think of it, there's no backup plan. I'm not going to go apply for jobs.
Right.
Sure.
Right? I mean, I'm too far into this.
The idea of
I've-
having
you've-
someone tell me what to do as an employee.
I don't now, but I'll tell you that's a relatively
not
recent
fun.
thing, and it's more due to what you were talking about, the relationships that I've built now. Now I know people in my life who can point me in the right direction. If it was still Matt trying to hack his way through all this stuff and figure it out, dude, bartending was very much a backup plan not even 3 years ago, right? Like, it was still very much there. Now I have people in my life who I feel like you get far enough ahead, you can go to them and be like, okay, now what do I do with this money? Or how do I do this next and build
Because I
on
look
that
at it
kind
like,
of stuff.
so I just partnered with a guy who's coming aboard, with us, and he's the #1 LA fitness sales counselor in the country, right? He's doing real estate part-time, and I'm like, look, man, like, at the end of the day, you're the #1 sales rep in the country selling gym memberships. If you just transfer that skill over to the real estate side,
Gym memberships seem like to be harder to sell.
either your competition is just as high, right? You've got multiple gyms, right? You've got the $9 one or wherever that serves pizza or whatever that place is.
I have no idea.
I think
what
it's
that
what is
is.
it like
Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness, yeah, and you can't even grunt in there.
gonna
Like,
get
you can't make
sued.
noises. Like, it's crazy. And I'm like, all right, so if you can transfer those skills, you know how much money real estate can make, right? The opportunities there. To say that you have that backup plan, maybe in your mind just to make it feel at ease,
Right.
but you were never going to go back to slinging drinks, because you could see, like, the first day on the job, you're like, holy shit, I made $100 when I know that I could go get an open house lead and I'm making $10,000.
Sure. And I think for me, it's always just been like that fear. I embrace failure I don't embrace success very well. So, like, I think for me, it's just always being prepared for the fall, because that feels more inevitable than like the climb.
That's a lot of people. Like, you've said
think that's
that.
pretty common.
Yeah, you've said that before.
I've said
Like
that
that level is. I think the biggest thing that hurts people's success is that they don't feel like they deserve it in some weird way, subconsciously. Right? That's like that statistic about lottery winners. How, like, most of them go broke. It's just like
Habit, man.
you just don't. You feel like that life isn't for you, and then, like, your bad side, your bad habits just get in the way of your own success. We are like so. It's like we've talked about this before. Like when you have like $1,000 in cash, right? And like you don't have it earmarked for anything, so you just blow it on whatever, right? Those first few dollars you don't really want to spend because you like having $1,000 and you don't want it to whittle down. When you get down to your last $20, you're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
This doesn't even matter.
Buy $20
Or you
worth
spend
of
$980.
bullshit. Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? It's sort of how people, like, we kind of embrace the failure way more than we embrace success. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
You know.
The rising stars that were featured within Danielle and Daniel Durbin. They're with Fathom Realty, but I think they're on their second or third year in
No
real estate,
relation.
and did $30 million. And Daniel was for 3 years the #1 Cadillac car salesman in the nation.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Man,
they
that
go.
life.
Him and his wife go into real estate. Man, they just.
I bet, dude.
30
I
million.
don't know how every car salesman doesn't go into real estate. I know a lot of car salesmen that are either agents or in mortgage now. I don't know how there are still car salesmen.
I look
If
at
you
it.
can be good at that, bro.
But here's the thing: the good ones, because I've seen them make a jump too, and the ones, a lot of times what happens is being good in car sales. It's also leveraging out the dealership you're in to attract the customers in. They're not
getting
cold
people in
calling.
the
They're not door knocking.
Sure. That's
Hey, have you
true.
thought about buying a car
It's
today?
Inbound.
Yeah, right. So they're great at the inbound, and they don't understand how to generate the inbound style leads.
I
So
also
they should
I also think
join-
there's an aspect to this too. I think we do give a little bit of credit for just the salesman type mentality would be automatically good at real estate. The sales cycle in real estate, right? Like people don't leave the car dealership and then come back tomorrow. You're usually making that sale
Yeah.
on the spot, right? That is not the way it is in real
I
estate.
guess it's also
at
true because I
all.
don't really consider either of us, maybe Nick because he's so scripted, like salesman. You're just a good person.
Dude, I'm not a fucking
I'm not
salesman.
saying you're a
Nick's
salesman.
that
I'm just saying
sleazy
you're very scripted.
salesman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baggy
Kelderman's
pants.
just a
Oh,
charismatic
Kelderman's
dude.
out of all of us,
He'd
Kelderman
probably
is
be
the most.
a super bad car salesman.
I'd be the
actually,
worst car
you
salesman
wouldn't remember anything about the
ever.
cars.
No.
You just make buddies.
Yeah, I don't remember
You
half of
just
what I'm
make
doing
buddies.
right now.
I like that guy. I'm gonna do some work with it.
Yeah, but here's the
didn't
thing.
ask me for
Here's the
anything.
thing in car sales, and I bought a lot of cars, and they tell me every time how they're losing money. And I'm like, stop telling me you're fucking losing money. Like,
I'm
like
getting
you would
killed
not
in
be
this
in
deal.
business if you're losing money on every car sales, right? It's like it's just ridiculous. And there's actually, I'll do it another time. But there's a story about how I'm in one of the car dealer systems about just being a dick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I bought a car.
You could paraphrase it. We got a little time.
Yeah, we got a little time. So I bought a car for the Good Home Team. I had 10,000.
The one that you still drive with your
Yeah.
unshaven, your
The
shaven
one,
face
yeah,
on
the
it?
one, the one with my shaven face on that.
Yeah,
but
that's
I don't
better.
drive
That
it,
thing
by
is
the
so
way.
weird
I don't
looking.
drive it. I will never. My truck broke down one time, and I still took Uber because I'm not driving around with my face all over it. Just not going to do it. But I walk into this dealership, and we bought a Toyota Scion. We were looking for a Toyota Scion, and this is a high-end dealership, and they had one on the lot for 78 days, and they were asking like $13,000 or $12,500. I said $10,000. Take it or leave it. It's like, nah, man, like $11,500. Like, nope. Got down to $10,500. I said, no. I said $10,000. And he's like, will you walk over $500? I said, absolutely. Will you let me leave over $500?
The argument
right?
goes both ways.
Yeah. And so I ended up buying the car for $10,000, but I'm in that system now
champ.
as unrealistic when it comes to pricing.
Did you get the car?
I did.
Did it already have your face on it?
No.
That would have been weird, right? If we went to the dealership.
They were like, no, we
It
have
has
another
my
guy
face
who
on.
looks like you. The thing about Nick's cars, it's not just the beard, and this is a credit to Nick. He's probably, 30 pounds and
Yeah.
lighter and way leaner
Yeah.
than the
I'm
picture on
saying,
that car,
he might not
too.
even
Like,
be lighter. He's just jacked now.
Yeah.
Nick Good could drive up to me in a car with that face on it, punch me in the face, and I wouldn't know it was the same guy who was on the car.
I'll film that. I'd like to see that happen.
Yeah, I would. I'll pay money.
Yeah.
For that too.
So tell us more about the send out cars. Let's break that down with you were teaching people how to leverage it with expireds and for sale by owners.
Yeah.
And then there's another company out there that you were talking about that may be because you're not still promoting send out.
No, so it's hilarious. I still, get paid through send out cards. Nothing crazy, but they give me checks every month, and I don't even use their company now. I use another company called AM Cards, and man, I think send out card. I mean, they've been around for like 15 years, and I think they just totally. Man, they could have captured the entire market, but they just didn't make a system that was like seamless and effortless and,
Sure.
and you know what I mean, like super user friendly. And so man, it was something that I dealt with like all the time, and I was struggling. I was like, why aren't they? They had all the money, all the support to do what they should have been doing. They never did it. And then this other guy, who was with Sender Cards, basically was like, I'm going to create my own. And so he created AM cards, and it's very simple. Like the cards are great. It does pretty much the same thing, but it's just so simple. It's just like, so now every time I send a card, I do it on AM cards.
What do you use it for? I mean, I should say, going back to send out cards, even if you're going to use AM cards, what were agents really killing it with? So like FizzBuzz expires, what's the content look like? What am I sending out through send out cards or AM cards or whoever? Like what is getting a good response? What are people really using it for in practice?
Yeah, so what we were teaching people and what we found that actually worked well for them was, here's the issue, especially, I mean, if we're talking specifically FizzBuzz expireds, is those people are getting hit all the time.
Yeah.
You know, like it goes expired and it's like calls, stuff on the doorstep.
Yep.
You know, and it all looks the same. It's all same crap, different pile. You know, different brokerages. And so the biggest challenge is how do you stand out from that? How are you unique? And we found that having a bit of a personal touch obviously goes a really long way. And so we would, I don't even know if this is totally legal or not. We were teaching people to do this, but we would have them, when we're talking expireds, we'd say, take the photo that's on the MLS, which I don't think it's probably your photo.
Definitely the wrong.
Wait,
It's not illegal. It's just copyright.
what if you do Inception? What if you take a picture of the picture?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, we were using it. It wasn't like marketing. It was sent directly to that same homeowner. It was gray. We'll say it best. But ideally, it makes it easy. You take that photo, you put it on the front of the card, and you just say something like "beautiful home" or like "love this," whatever. It's the main point that we wanted to get across is put their home on the front, because if you're an expired and you're getting all this crap in the mail, and then all of a sudden you see a card and it has your home on the front, you're like, oh,
yeah,
what? And then you open it up, and we would have some script that basically is just like, hey, you know, if you're open to whatever. We had a script that was very soft sell. Yeah. You know, if you're open to looking to support to get your home sold type thing, we'd put that in the card, and then your branding on the back, and we would send it with a box of brownies. And I mean, you're talking, you know, $8, $9, $10 to send that, but a lot of times it would generate a response just that in itself.
Sure.
But like, talk about an easy call if you're just like, you know, if I sound to Nick, I'm like, hey Nick, you know, this is the brownie guy. And they're like, oh yeah, I got the brownies. That was awesome.
I was allergic to that. My kid choked.
I know they didn't have pot in it, but they're good.
We're at the hospital right now.
Yeah. No, but you just like call yourself the brownie guy. And it would just, the whole thing was it would just change the energy of the conversation.
Yep.
And then, you know what I mean? People just, they would just love that. And so having that as like your intro would just, if people are willing to invest a whopping $10 into an expire, man, and you know, it makes you stand out.
And I'm assuming that was the same for sale by owners. Really,
Very simple,
really, it's a quick little message, and it's more about the brownie that makes it stand out.
And the picture on the front.
The picture on the front. So it's like 3D mail. So there's a like, I think it's 3dmail.com. A Dan Kennedy student built this out, and you could send like little trash cans, and there's little themes behind it because it gets people to remember, right? So when you send it's called
a little trash can.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was for. Like, I have to go back and look at it. But it's called lumpy mail, right? So
this is where your last agent belongs.
Yeah, like that last listing was trash, right? Actually, we did create a campaign. I'd never shared this. I have a campaign that's saved that Austin and I built out that basically was for expireds that it said, "Your realtor sucks." And we had this long sales form copy, and it would have worked other than we stopped it because we did some tests with some like some closed circles, and they're like, you know, I don't know, the word sucks. I'm like, is that bad of a word? Like, but here's the problem is, especially today, you don't want to send that stuff out and then it gets plastered all over social media.
Well, if you want a safe place to do stuff like that, go join our group, the only real estate group we're being a part of, and you can see me post the responses I get from expires and Nick and the stuff he gets too.
Yeah, we've gotten some good ones lately. But so it's more about the kind of, they call it lumpy mail, when you send something that you know is in that soft envelope, and they're like, you know, what is this?
Yeah. Stands out.
It stands out. At least gets them open, and then you have a compelling headline in there the compelling headline is a good call to action, so that at least remember. And so you're really looking to send to expire 7 to 10 plus, items of value to them.
Sure. There was another someone that was there was a company that would actually do it, and they would send the house a potato, and it would just say something like, "Your house is one hot potato," and it would have like the agent's name on it, and it was hilarious, and like, you know what I mean, just
make
another.
Sure the house isn't vacant. Otherwise, you're just sending them what's going to become a rotten potato on their doorstep.
You die
It's
on
the
their
moldy
doorstep.
potato.
Yeah.
But my buddy Brett, he runs Dallas Real Producers. He sent me. I was asking him today, hey, send me some of the stuff that, because he was doing this. He was a real estate agent, and this agent, I got to read this because you guys always post stuff about what people say back to you. And he said, Brett said, "Hey Larry, I'm sorry. My friend who was 24 years old died the other day, and I had to attend his funeral in Pennsylvania." His response: "Really don't care about your personal problems. I want to terminate this listing effective immediately."
It's just we're dealing with that right now, dude. We have some people who want to terminate because there's an agent who's it's our listing. There's an agent who's crawling all over it, telling the sellers he can get them all kinds of money. So they're like, "We want to terminate with you," and we're like, "No, it's just
So I had one.
not going to happen."
No, I had
right?
one like that. The guy terminated the day before closing, and he's like, "No, I just changed my mind." I'm like, "No, bro. Like, the week before you asked to move closing up."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, something happened."
Sure.
And my agent starts digging a little bit more, and he slips up and said that his neighbor wants to buy the house. So he was cutting out the agents, right? And so. So we didn't let him off the hook, man.
No.
So here's what I did. I said, "Look, we'll let you out," because the buyer got recompensated. They were compensated, for their loss. But I said, "Look, you owe me a commission per our listing agreement. We did our job," and so we negotiated with him. I'm tired of people not honoring. Like, we did our work. He's like, "No." He's like, "But you didn't sell the house." Like,
That's not what it says.
no. We did. You terminated the day before closing, which you can't do.
Right.
Yep. You're required to bring a ready, willing, and able buyer.
Yeah.
I think one of the interesting things too, though, is like, and not to go totally off on that, but I think like the brokerages always just want to not rock the boat. They're like, it's no big deal, whatever, right? Like, just let them out. You'll go get another. Go focus on lead generation activities, right? Like, no.
I don't want to put any I'm not saying I've had personal experiences with it or anything. I will say I've heard enough stories and been through it enough with enough people that there's a lot of times you should seek outside counsel if you really want somebody to fight for you.
Yeah.
Yes, which we do every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Or and here's the thing: if it's less than, I think, $10,000, less than 10,000, you go to small claims court. Yeah. So, and in small claims court, we were advised not to bring an attorney to that.
You represent yourself.
You represent yourself. Actually, in small claims court, they actually don't like the judge does not like attorneys being brought in on that.
Yeah. It's like big timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
all my commission checks over $10,000, so I'd have to get an attorney.
Exactly. Man, that Larry guy's a dick.
So another thing we were doing with the send-out cards. So I hope Ben Baker's listening, because he was telling me that he does not like he doesn't really prospect. And
He would admit that to anybody. I've heard him
Yeah,
say that.
for sure.
he doesn't really prospect. I mean, and people obviously come to him, and he said he's got some different goals this year. So he's, sorry Ben if I'm speaking out of my lane here, but he said he just needs to do some more prospecting this year.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of chatting about that. But one of the things that we were doing to for agents, we were telling them, hey, you got to touch your existing client base, and obviously people talk about asking for referrals is huge.
Yeah.
So what we would do is say we would send a card that had brownies with it, just a touch to one of your clients, some sort of chocolate, anyways, and we would say all the card would really be is there's two things that I love in this world: chocolate and referrals, and I just sent you chocolate.
Oh, I like that.
And it's like a playful touch,
Yeah.
and they'd be like, okay. That Ben Baker. Let's see. And it's just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's
That's
just,
pretty good.
it's light. It's light.
I like that.
People
We
who aren't
used to
salesy.
do-
Yeah.
For expireds, I had a domain. It's actionable advice. I had a domain that was like whyyourhomedidn'tsell.com or something like that. And then if you went to the domain, it was just a landing page that would pay a video that I had paid somebody on Fiverr to make. That was one of those animated videos where the dude's drawn on the thing.
Those are sweet.
I'm not going to tell you what it said because that's where the creative part comes in. I had a good script.
Said, "Your
worked
realtor
out.
sucks."
Yeah. But then I would send postcards to every expired. I had a system worked out. My VA would send postcards to every expired. All they said was, "Don't sell your house." And then I turned it over and said, "Until you visit housedidn'tsell.com" or something like that. We got so many hits on that thing.
No,
Good.
that
We gotta
works.
start doing that again.
That works. Now, I just wish there was a direct mail company that would set it up on a smaller scale to automate postcards being dropped, right? Because that's the only trouble that we've been running into, because we've been trying to reintroduce snail mail. And the problem with that is, unless you have an in-house person that's not busy,
Sure.
dropping a series of 13 letters or postcards and doing it on the time that it needs to be done.
It's tough.
Especially in our market, man. There's so many expires every month.
Yes.
You know,
so,
I mean,
and so that you have to update the mailers to make sure that you're pulling out the list of homes that just got relisted.
Yeah, like you want
And-
to send stuff that goes back on, it's a waste.
Yeah, absolutely. And so someone needs to develop that company out there that can do that. So
How
Jordan,
about the 4 geniuses in this room?
Well, I mean, you can do. I mean, I'm sure you guys need, like you say, need to update the information. But what's nice with whether it be Sendo cards or AIM cards, you can create the campaign. So if it's like a certain timeline where you're just like, hey, I want to touch these. You know, if it's your existing clients and you want to make sure you get X amount of touches a year with a card, you can just put them on a campaign. You create the campaign once. You can, insert first name, all that stuff. You create your cards ahead of time. Maybe it's 6 cards a year. And I want to go at this time, this time, this time, this time. You just set it, and then you just hit go. And you just attach the people that you want to go to. So, I mean, obviously there's automated systems in there to a certain extent.
Aaron Foster just said, thanks.io will do some automated mailers. That way it's about 50 cents a piece.
There you go.
that's pretty much what the stamp costs, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, how are they doing?
I don't know.
Well, you can get
Aaron Foster's
bulk.
always commenting
Yeah.
some like link on here that .io.
Yeah.
I think he owns all these shell corporations.
It's like Gary Vee trying to drive everybody to TikTok like it's not full of 12-year-olds doing stupid challenges.
I'm seeing all the old people start to jump on that shit.
Bro, I downloaded that thing for about 5 minutes and I was like, I gotta get the hell
I
out of
deleted
here.
it.
There
I
is
didn't even
no
open it.
reason. No, my son, my 5-year-old's like, you on TikTok? I'm like, what do you know about TikTok? Stay off of this.
It's like, look, old man,
Deleted. Yeah.
I've already got my game on there.
I'll stick my Facebook where all the old folks hang out now.
Yeah.
You guys already know how I feel about Gary Vee, so.
Brian thinks Gary Vee is the greatest entrepreneurial mind of all time, and he's great at inspiring people with lots of really unique words.
Is that not true?
I don't think that's true at all.
Okay, it's not true.
I just know
called
Brian well enough to
sarcasm.
know I don't think he holds Gary Vee in that regard.
It's weird to be driving people to TikTok. It's kind of Jared from Subway-ish, if you ask me.
I'll get you some.
It's like, what's your game here?
I'll get you some Gary Vee shoes.
Like,
Send them in the
It's
mail.
gonna come back to haunt me if this podcast gets big enough. Me and Gary Vee are going to be at such odds.
Yeah. Let's have them call in.
Actually,
sometime.
we need to have a feud. I
Start
mean,
a
it's not
beef,
my
yeah.
feud, but I'll stick by it.
I know we don't have any major beefs we need to start. That's the one.
We can fabricate some.
Yeah, we can make some up.
We can make that happen.
What do you got, Brian?
Taking it to you, Gary.
I'll start with Gary.
Are we ready? Are we ready?
Derek, are you ready for this?
What a terribly weather day for this first day of
And
this
you can
new
see it
studio.
in the back. No, we got crappy rain weather here.
Derek, how long do you think we have to do this podcast before we see a wreck right behind my head? I'm saying 7 episodes.
I
Do we
have
do
a
this right at
feeling-
about the beginning of rush hour? No more than 7 episodes where there'll be before there is a fender bender right behind me.
I have a feeling that we'll see it at some point.
Yeah.
We'll definitely see it at some point. But
I'm pretty pumped.
before you start, Brian,
And now, Brian Force's billionaire movie something.
I'm still not used to how stupid that is.
I think
It's so great, but it's also like every time I
it's
see
on
it, I'm
a
like,
big
we're just
TV right in
ridiculous.
front of us now, which I think
I
makes
played
it
that
more
on my
fun.
listing appointments.
That's how Nick walks in. They answer the door. They're like, "Hi." Nick's like, "I'm here for our appointment," and then he just holds up his phone playing that.
Shoot up and oh man,
Gotta stand out.
I'm going to buy a football team?
Gary Vee, Jets.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I'm just like Gary Vee.
I love
now.
this.
Here's what Gary Vee didn't think of. I'm going to buy a football team.
You seem
Okay.
like you and Gary would get along.
The only caveat is I have to be the kicker. And now, the reason I need to be the kicker, here's the thing. It would be too much of a bit if I tried to play quarterback. Nobody would come watch. I don't think that kicking is a big enough part of the sport that my whole fan base is going to abandon me just for me being the kicker. Like, we're going to be awful if I try to play tight end, right? We're going to be losing fans left and right. Everybody's good. But you can win. I mean, there's teams out there that barely kick. If you got a
The
solid
Cowboys
offense,
are a perfect example of that.
yeah, man. We're not gonna. I mean, I'm also gonna be the punter, so we're not gonna punt. We're gonna go for. We might be the most exciting team in the league. So I think we'll actually have a shitload of fans. because we're always going for it.
I think
Doesn't
this is
matter.
called the XFL.
I don't care if it's first quarter and we get backed up because of a bunch of holding penalties and it's 4th and goal from our own 35. We're going for it. So it's going to be fun.
You look
But
dorky enough to
the
be
other
a
caveat is I'm
kicker.
not going to practice kicking field goals at all. So if we ever get into a jam where we do have to kick a field goal, there's no goddamn way we're making it. So I feel like we're going to have the most exciting and probably explosive offense in the league right up until the point where somebody's got to come in and hit a 47-yarder in the snow.
And then you come in.
And I'm just going to saunter up like I own the team and do whatever the fuck I want. I might even kick left-footed just because. And I'm just going to crush everybody who just put all their hopes and dreams on the fact that I might not have to kick, and then I do. And they just already know that there's no way this isn't going to be a shank right into my own lineman.
It's the most Rudy thing I've ever seen.
And here's the thing. I'm going to act real upset when I miss it, as if I thought I had any chance of making it when I wasn't even trying to. There's the thing. When they kind of, you see in the background, if you ever been to an NFL game, all the kickers, all they do is practice. They don't even go in the locker room for halftime most of the time. When they're doing the thing at halftime where they bring all the stuff, like the kickers and punters are practicing on the sidelines the whole time. I'm never going to be out there. I'm going to go up to the fucking suite, the owner's box, and I'm only going to come down. Like, I'm literally only going to come down if it's like 3rd and 17.
Just smoke hookah and
Yeah.
drink White Claws.
I'm not even going to
Till
be,
it's just starting to
I
come
might not
down.
even be in pads, bro. I might just come down in my suit and try and run out there and win one for the home team at the buzzer.
Did
But
we
there's
just
no
switch
way.
podcasts?
There's no way
Are
I'm
we doing
making
a
it.
different show now?
This is how Brian takes us out
Yeah.
every show.
Yeah, every
just
show.
confusion and
I think from now on,
And I'm also going to rename the team the Miami Sharks. So there's that part too.
can you
That's a better idea.
There's already
I'm
that
gonna
team.
buy a
It's
team,
insane.
rename them the Miami Sharks, and I'm gonna go out and find people with the names of every person in any given Sunday. Like, I'm gonna go find Willie Beeman and sign him. There's gotta be one, dude. I don't care if it's a 75-year-old white dude. If he's Willie Beeman, he is starting quarterback for the Miami Sharks.
that's glorious. I'm in on that. I want to invest in this idea.
yeah, I would invest in that.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
I want you to start doing XFL breakdowns in 2 weeks.
XFL, HSOs,
I'm down.
done.
Brian and I have a whole other podcast where we just talk
Dallas,
smack about
Dallas
nonsense.
Renegades.
I still think that the Dallas Cowboys have the second best coach in the city. There's an HSO for you.
Not anymore. They got Mike
I
McCarthy.
think Bob Stoops is a better coach than Mike McCarthy. But that's for another day.
Well, boys, first show in the new digs. Kind of discombobulated, but
Getting used
it
to
feels weird. Two people being on one camera.
Yeah,
I
here's
like
the
it.
thing. I'm gonna tell
I
you
need,
right
I
now.
need to do stuff while you guys are talking.
That's the problem. Like when Brian usually does this, I usually kind of do my own thing, but I know I'm in the shot now. I'm like, I have to act really engaged and interested in this.
I'm
I'm
usually
like,
not paying attention at all.
Definitely,
either of
definitely,
you.
we're gonna need to figure that out for next week. How to make sure we're all on our own cameras so we can not pay attention when the other person's talking like
Yeah.
we typically do. It makes the show flow a lot better if we're not listening to each other.
Well,
My
Jordan,
ears are
I
cold.
appreciate you joining us, man.
Thanks for coming, man.
Hey, I appreciate you
Yeah,
guys.
brother.
You guys having me on. It's
Absolutely,
been fun.
man.
Hell
It's been
yeah.
cool.
We'll have to do it again.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
AOD, take us out.